Hello, underachievers. So, the war on woke. Wokies, smokies, woke scolds, throaties. Being awake and not asleep. A state of wokeness. There seems to be a rise in the number of people using the word woke as a pejorative. I'm sure you've heard your dad or his old, balding, graying, decaying old friends use the word woke in a negative light. I would first like to just... I would first just like to establish what the word woke actually means, and then we can get on with the video. So, woke is an adjective, and thank God it's not a pronoun. It's an adjective derived from African American vernacular English, meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. I don't know why. Alert, you know what it means. Beginning in the 2010s, it came to encompass a broader awareness of social inequalities, such as sexism, or, you know, transgenderism, or homosexualism. It just means socially aware, and, like, alert of discrimination that happens. So TikTok is a place. It's certainly a place. And a few months ago, this audio from Family Guy started going viral. I thought we could watch a few of these TikToks and, you know, assess what people think being woke is. Because there is an array of different kind of vibes, and it's honestly giving me whiplash. I had to talk about it. To be completely honest, I didn't know which TikTok to start with. So let's just go all in. Here's one.
I don't know. I guess I'm not woke. Okay, fine. You win with your gay stuff.
So, let's unpack. Billia shouldn't be a crime. It's a sexual preference. Now, first off, I don't think anybody that ever says this would be categorized as woke. Obviously, there's a difference between just being a nonce and, like, being a nonce and then actually doing noncy things. But can I just say, every now and then, I see a homophobe or a transphobe or a person that just hates anybody that isn't straight and cis. I see them being like, oh, well, where does it end? I've seen people trying to add Billia to the LGBT community, like LGBTQIAP. The plus is for P, the P is for fault. No. The thing that annoys me about the internet is that, like, one batshit person will have an insane take, and then people will see that batshit person and be like, oh my god, the whole community of people like this think this thing. And if you're one of these people that are sat here watching, thinking that, like, oh, maybe they are trying to add P to the LGBT. No, they're not. The caption of this TikTok is, and motherfuckers were trying to add a P to the LGBTQ because of this. Like, can I just say this is not a problem? Nobody is genuinely trying to do that. I am so confused how this was, like, your first thought, how you're like, oh, I'm gonna join in on the trend. Let's talk about pedophiles. Let's go. So obviously, that's one kind of TikTok from this trend. Next up, we have this one.
I don't know. I guess I'm not woke. Okay, fine. You win with your gay stuff.
This is what I want. This is what I want from this trend, because I know it probably started off like this and then just derailed, but this is very funny to me. I'm just gonna say this is very funny to me. Also, like, it is weird as an English speaking person and someone that, like, who I speak a bit of French, I speak a bit of Spanish, that's about it. I know how to say kiss my ass in Irish. Isn't it weird that words have genders? Isn't that a bit weird? I did not realize you could misgender a word. I bet transphobes that are watching this are like, oh, right, let's misgender words. Next up, we have this.
I don't know. I guess I'm not woke. Okay, fine. You win with your gay stuff.
This one, I don't know how to feel about. There is a lot of discussion. My opinion on, like, gender-neutral parenting, personally, and obviously I think everybody else should have the same opinion as me. I think you should absolutely raise your baby gender-neutral, your child gender-neutral. And by that, I don't mean by assigning your child they-them pronouns, and not, you know, calling them a girl or a boy, just calling them a person. Gender-neutral parenting to me is like, yeah, you don't have to wear the dress or have to wear the pink just because you're a girl. And, like, no, you don't have to be brave and strong and the man of the house just because you're a boy and you were born with a willy. So my idea of gender-neutral parenting is just, like, not enforcing gender stereotypes, which I think everybody, I think everybody should parent like that. Right? Like, you shouldn't force dumb societal roles on a child that you've just birthed. Like, hey son, welcome to the world. I know you're only 10 minutes old, but you're an absolute stud. You lady killer. Like, personally, not the vibe. But yeah, like, I don't know how many people do, like, raise their child, like, truly just, like, non-binary, like, they, them. I just think that's not a good idea. I feel like the majority of people assist. The majority of people end up identifying with the gender that they're assigned at birth. So I feel like adding in they-them pronouns and being like, oh, you're just a person, you're not a boy or a girl. I get the idea behind it, because we don't want to define our children just by their biology, because that's dumb. Like, essentially, you are, like, choosing the gender of the baby. Like, you're not using girl pronouns or boy pronouns. You're like, no, gender neutral until you decide, which, like, it's just, like, that's not, I don't think it's a good idea. So this TikTok, I get the sentiment behind it, but also, I don't know, seeing TikToks like this just make me think, like, what other trans topic can we complain about on the internet? And then we also get TikToks like this, which is absolutely what I would have expected. This is kind of the thing that I was gonna make the video about. Here it is.
I don't know. I guess I'm not woke, okay? Fine, you win with your gay stuff.
So, let's unpack. Let's unpack, because we love unpacking on this channel, because unless people are incredibly educated about everything to do with LGBT stuff, I will continue to unpack. You're not a mum, you're a birthing person. So this has been a big discussion in the media, and I could complain about it for so long because there's too much going on. But I just want to say that there's nobody out there that's going up to mothers and being like, you're not a mother, you're not a woman, you're a birthing person with a uterus. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. The whole idea of birthing person coming up as a phrase was, you know, to use gender-neutral language for parents that give birth. Like, if you're non-binary, you'd probably feel more comfortable calling yourself a birthing person than a mother. The guideline was just like, hey, you can do this. The guideline didn't say, hey, you need to do this to everybody, even if they're a mother, even if they're cis, even if they identify with being a mother, you have to call them a birthing person. Like, no one did that. But there was this interview on the news where they completely cut out the section that was just like, oh, you don't have to do this for everybody. They completely cut out that section, and then there was just like outrage about people being like, well, I'm not a birthing person, I'm not a person with a uterus, I'm a mother.
I am your mother. I am your mother.
I am your mother!
Oh, mother.
So that's the first one. Like, nobody is enforcing that. Second one, babies shouldn't be gendered. We've covered that. Third one, trans women get a period just as bad. I have seen this take maybe like 2 times from like 2 trans women ever. Trans women are not delusional. They're not crazy. They know the biology that they have. They know that they can't physically shed the lining of a uterus that they don't have. I've not actually seen anybody saying, like, trans women's fluctuations in hormones are as bad as a period. But, like, yeah, obviously you can't get a period unless you have a uterus. You take, like, the most insane person from any demographic and then apply it to the entire demographic. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. Like, nobody's saying you're not woke if you don't think that trans women have periods. Because who is... You need to ask consent before changing your baby's diaper. Oh my god! Oh my god! I don't believe that. I don't think most people believe that. Ever. Also, breastfeeding is transphobic. It's called chest feeding. The same as the first one. I don't think any trans parents are out there being like, actually the term breastfeeding is transphobic because I'm trans and I breastfeed with my chest. Sorry, I chest feed with my chest. Like, who is doing that? Who is doing that? Like, are we really seriously doing this?
I don't know. I guess I'm not woke, okay? Fine, you win with your gay stuff.
I feel this. Well, I shouldn't feel this, but there was this trans guy I knew called Keith, and I just had so many questions. Why? Of all names, why would you choose Keith? Like, was it a family name? Like, I don't know any trans men called Barry. I'm sure there are some trans men called Barry out there, but, like, you could literally choose anything, and you choose Keith, or Kevin, or Barry, or Gary. Like, why? Like, why would you do that? I guess for some people it makes them feel more possible, because, like, I can't lie, when I see someone's name and it's Aiden or Braden or Jaden, I know that they're popular names in America. In the UK, maybe not so much. I just assume anyone called Aiden or Jaden or Braden is trans, even though that's not true. I would never assume somebody written down on paper called Keith or Kevin or Barry or Gary was trans. So I get that, but you know. You're transphobic if you're gonna play Hogwarts Legacy. Another one to be unpacked. So, absolutely, you can buy the Harry Potter game and support the trans people in your life. You can never misgender them. You can tell them they look really masculine and they pass really well. But, if you're buying a game and financially supporting one of the most dangerous transphobes of our time, you know, this is probably not a good thing to do. I wouldn't say that somebody is transphobic if they buy the game. I know plenty of people that have bought the game because they love Harry Potter and they wanted to play the game. I personally would recommend and suggest anybody just boycott that game. Download it illegally, buy it secondhand from somebody that didn't know better. But you are, like, indirectly and directly putting money into a big transphobe's pocket. And you know the big transphobe monetarily supports other big transphobes in a terrible way, which makes transphobia worse. So yeah, you're not the worst person in the world. You're not the worst person in the world. You're not like some crazy transphobic bigot. But you have to acknowledge that a transphobe does benefit from you spending money on their game. This one I have thought about for so long. I have thought about this concept for so long. When people use folks, unironically, even though folks is already gender neutral, I don't get it. I don't understand. Folks is definitely already gender neutral. Putting an X in a word does not make it gender neutral. Can somebody explain to me? Can you, in the comments, can somebody please explain? Is there a deeper meaning? Is there a real reason why people do that? Or is it kind of just, you know, I don't want to say it, but like virtue signal. Like, is it not? Like, who does it serve? Who's it for? So here's another one of those TikToks. So, men get periods too. Yeah, I used to get periods. I'm a man, not that confusing. I feel like people intentionally misinterpret what people are saying when it comes to trans issues just because they want to be mad about it. But when people say that men get periods too, they're not saying that biological men get periods. There are different men. There are blonde men, there are men with brown hair, there are tall men, there are fat men, there are trans men, there are cis men. They're all different types of men. Just because you're trans doesn't make you any less of a man. It just means that biologically you're not male. And male is different to being a man because gender is socially constructed and sex is, we get it, but do we? Do we really? There's always so much uproar when people are like, oh yeah, I mean, like, I know men that have periods. Yeah, they have periods. And they're men. And I get initially, if you're not in trans spaces, or if you don't know any trans people, or if you don't know about trans people, that would be a confusing phrase. What do you mean men get periods? But if you're sat complaining about it on the internet, you've had time to think about it and to look it up. Jesus was gay. I did not know that. I did not know that. Maybe I'm not woke. Babies shouldn't be gendered. We've covered that. I identify as a wolf. Saying that, this was unintentional, but I am wearing a wolf t-shirt. I bought it ironically because I think it goes hard. This I identify as a wolf kid. This poor kid really went far. I don't like that people see that kind of thing in the same way that they see trans people. Being otherkin and being a furry is not the same as being trans. And again, men get pregnant. Yeah, some men do. Not all men. Not all men. When everyone in the gay community wants to be the girl and no one wants to be the man anymore. Okay, so we're seeing a little bit of toxic masculinity. I hate to use that word, that phrase. I hate to use it, but it's true. Being feminine does not make you a girl. Not wanting to do everything that's traditionally ascribed to men. Not wanting to do that does not make you a girl. Am I the only gay man that's not trying to be a girl? Because, like, what is being the man? Is it like being dominant? Is it like paying for food when you go on a date? Because if you're in the gay man community, I would not say that you're a girl. I would not say that. My older relatives, when they refuse to stop calling my boyfriend his partner, I feel this, and I bet the old people have discussions about this, and also are just like, I guess I'm not woke. I love my nan so much. She's a lovely woman. She's great. She doesn't entirely get it. She doesn't get it. She doesn't understand. That's fine. She sometimes cuts out trans man regrets transition newspaper clips and gives them to me, and it's just like, I thought you should read this. But she has always called Corey my partner. And I would get it if Corey was trans, because then maybe that would make more sense to me in her brain. But she called Corey my partner. I don't call him my partner. I don't call him my partner to anyone. He's my boyfriend. He's a boy. He was born a boy. He's a real boy in some people's eyes. I guess some people think it's politically correct, but like how? How can they? I don't know. That's a really weird one. Well, my phone died. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you relate to any of these TikToks? What makes you not woke? Oh yeah, I didn't say at the beginning, but listen to my new song. It's in the description below. Have a good day or don't. See you later, losers. Goodbye. Smacked.